is a relaxing ASMR video, but I will warn you offhand, I do not know how successful that will be, because I am genuinely outraged about this, and if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, you definitely are not going to relax while listening to this. I'm not even a fan of either of these two teams. I mean, Luka Doncic is my favorite non-Blazer in the league. So I'm a fan of Luka, not the Mavericks. And even this makes me extremely angry for multiple reasons. So, Luka Doncic gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis and one first-round pick in 2029. Just to kind of go point by point here, Rudy Gobert got 5 first-round picks. Mikal Bridges got 5 first-round picks. Neither of those players are even close to as good as Luka Doncic. Now, I'm not saying Anthony Davis is a bad player. He's probably worth 1 or 2 first-round picks just on his own. But you could have easily gotten 5 first-round picks for Luka Doncic. Perhaps more. You could probably get like 7 of those things from the Oklahoma City Thunder for Luka. But apparently, according to reports, Nico Harrison did not even shop Luka around. His very first destination and his only destination was the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, full transparency, I'm a Luka Doncic fan. The Los Angeles Lakers are my most hated sports franchise. I don't think I have to explain why that is as a fan of the Portland Trail Blazers. So, from that personal standpoint, it's upsetting because I'm like, well, I guess I can't be a fan of Luka Doncic anymore. Sorry, buddy, you're dead to me. But this makes no sense in many ways. First, let's start with from the Luka point himself. Only the Dallas Mavericks had the ability to offer Luka Doncic the Supermax, which I believe would be a $360 million contract. Even after he's been traded, he can only sign a regular max contract. I don't know what the exact value of that contract is. All I know is it's less than $360 million. Because only the team that drafts a player can offer the Supermax. So, first and foremost, Nico Harrison has cost Luka Doncic tens of millions of dollars worth of lifetime earnings. Just on that fact. Now let's talk about the fact that you traded a 25-year-old player who is not even in his physical prime yet, or is just about to enter his physical prime, maybe he's just now in it, for a player who is about to turn 32 years old and has been perpetually injured through much of his career. And I know I've seen the stats over the last 3 seasons. Luka Doncic has missed more games than Anthony Davis. Yes, I understand that. But it's only like 20 more games, and Luka's injuries have been things like muscle strains, partial tears, things like that, whereas all of Anthony Davis's injuries have been far more substantial, and he has a longer history of those injuries. And I think that the context definitely matters here. And again, Anthony Davis is 7 years older than Luka Doncic. Most NBA players do not even stay in the league for 7 years. That is the age difference between these two players. Luka Doncic will still be playing at an MVP level in 7 years' time when he's the same age Anthony Davis is now. Luka Doncic has been a top 3 to top 5 player in the NBA every single year he has been in the league since his rookie year. He is 25 years old and as a 5-time All-NBA level player. I believe he's received MVP votes basically every year. I've honestly been shocked that he has not won an MVP already. The existence of Nikola Jokic has sort of been the only reason he hasn't won an MVP in my opinion. And again, I'm very high on Luka Doncic. My personal opinion, I believe that he has the potential to be a top 10 all-time player. Does that mean that by the time Luka Doncic retires, he will be a top 10 all-time player? No. But I believe he has the potential to be. I believe he's the most gifted offensive player in the NBA since LeBron James. Yes, I am including Nikola Jokic in that. Nikola Jokic is a better passer than Luka, but I think if you look at all the aspects of the game, Luka's bag, so to speak, I think he has a deeper game than Jokic, even though obviously to this point Jokic has impacted winning more than Luka has. He has the ring to show for it. But Luka did make the NBA Finals basically by himself and playing on one ankle for part of that. Kyrie Irving was definitely there, but their chemistry wasn't as great last year, and as it has been in the point of this year that they've played together. And Luka was always the best player on the floor for either team in all of those series, even when he was injured. So again, by the time he retires, I'm not saying he'll be top 10 all time, but I think he has the potential to be. I think at least he'll probably be viewed as top 25 of all time. I know they just did the NBA 75, where they put like the best 75 players of all time or whatever. When they do the next one in 25 years and Luka's, retired, I imagine he will be in that next batch of 25 players that gets added to that top of all time list that the NBA does. And Luka's only getting better now. Again, I'm not saying Anthony Davis is a bad player. He's a very good player, probably top 10 in the league this season overall. But he's 32 years old. And the Dallas Mavericks, the crazy thing is Nico Harrison was talking about, we view this as a win now move. You were in the NBA Finals last year. What do you mean you were a win now team already? And this is just like what the Minnesota Timberwolves did with Karl Anthony Towns. If anything, this is definitely worse than what the Minnesota Timberwolves did with Karl Anthony Towns. This is the worst trade in NBA history, bar none. This is the worst trade. I don't care what trade comes after. I don't care about any trades that came before. There is no trade that'll ever be worse than this trade. Because Luka Doncic is one of the greatest NBA players of all time. Like, just statistically, like, you look at the level of player he is right now in his prime. Like, this trade was so bad that when Shams tweeted it out, people thought he was hacked. Shams has never been hacked and posted fake info before. That's how bad this trade is. And all the justifications from Nico Harrison in the interim saying, we need more defense. Then they give up 50 points to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first quarter. Oh, you need defense. This is a win-now team. No, it's not. It was a win-now team when you had Luka Doncic on the team. Now it's a lose-now team. They got blown out by 43 points after talking about how much they needed need some defense. One of the best offensive players in the league, if not the best offensive player in the league right now. And they trade him for one first-round pick, Anthony Davis and Max Christie. There's no world where that ever makes sense from a basketball point of view. Which is why, in my opinion, this is entirely a money thing. Just like I think the Minnesota Timberwolves thing was entirely a money thing. This new CBA has turned owners into cowards. I respect the Boston Celtics ownership so much more because they won the title and they locked up all those guys to long-term deals. They had no problem blowing past the second apron because you know what? If you have a good team, you're going to make a lot of money. And these NBA owners are some of the richest people on the entire planet. Any of these owners crying poor, saying they can't afford it, they're lying to you. They're lying. They have so much money, it's the level of wealth that if technically they aren't liquid to cover the bills, they can just go to a bank and they're going to be given money, no questions asked, because the bank knows they're good for it because that's how much money they have. Like, there's no world. And what's so disappointing to me is Mark Cuban sold his stake in this team to the Adelsons. He had to have known. Like, Mark Cuban talked about how much he loved the Mavericks. He talked about how he would divorce his wife before he traded Luka Doncic. How do you not talk to the new owners and vet them, get guarantees from them, like contractual guarantees in writing even? Like, you don't get a contract saying you cannot do this, or if you do, like, the sale is void, I get my shares back, whatever. Like, it's insane to me that Mark Cuban even sold to these people in the first place. But then if they want to, they're not doing this, they're not saying this publicly, but I know that this is a money-saving thing. It's the only reason that makes sense, is they want to save money, and they're sending Nico Harrison out there to be offensive lineman for them. Which is disgusting that they're making him do that, and they're making him take the slack from all these fans, and he's gonna be booed, and he might, like, his life might legitimately be in danger. And I know that that sounds ridiculous, and I wish that I was being facetious, but I genuinely believe that you get a certain Mavericks fan who just has one or two screws loose. They see him in public, like, I'm serious. But the Adelsons, they gave a $100 million donation to the Trump campaign. Now, I don't care who they donated the money to, but if you can give $100 million in political donations, which in my opinion you shouldn't be legally allowed to do anyway, no matter who you are or who you're giving the money to. But that's neither here nor there. You can afford a max contract for Luka Doncic, who, by the way, his ROI, like, even at a max contract, Luka Doncic is generating more value than you're paying him. That's the thing these owners lie about, like, oh, these contracts are so expensive. Over the course of a supermax contract, Luka Doncic would have generated more than $360 million in revenue for the Dallas Mavericks. It's like how LeBron James has been criminally underpaid his entire career. I think even if you gave LeBron James the total sum of every single contract in the NBA every single year, he would still be underpaid compared to the amount of money he generates for the NBA. Like, even just the NBA, that's not even considering, like, ESPN, Nike. Nike's contract with LeBron is like, what, $1 billion contract? LeBron has definitely earned more than $1 billion for Nike. Luka Doncic definitely would have earned the Mavericks more than $360 $160 million worth of revenue. Ticket sales, merchandise sales. He consistently had one of the best-selling jerseys in the league. Sponsorship deals, like everything. This is gonna completely cripple. Like, I've seen Mavericks fans saying, like, I've been fanned for my whole life. I'm done. They're becoming, as a Blazers fan, I've seen Mavericks fans becoming Blazers fans. And I want to warn them the grass isn't always greener, buddy. Like, go somewhere else. And it sucks from the Mavericks fans' point of view, because what's the point in being loyal to a sports franchise? And I kind of did a video about this after the Shohei Ohtani deal as a Mariners fan. The Mariners have their best season of all time. Well, besides 2001, but they had their first season in decades. They have the best, pitching lineup in baseball. They have this exciting young player in Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, and then they proceed to spend absolutely no money in the offseason. Don't try to splash for any free agent. Don't make any big trades. Because the owners care more about just making money off the fans than actually putting a winning product on the field. And it gets to the point where it's like, well, if the people who own the team don't care, why should I care? And if you're a Mavericks fan asking yourself that question, you don't owe the franchise any loyalty. If loyalty is a two-way street, they're not trying to make the team better. I guarantee you they let Anthony Davis walk, or they trade him when he's an expiring or something, and it's gonna get worse, unfortunately. It's going to get worse. And that really sucks. And what really sucks also is not just costing Luka millions and millions of dollars by trading him, but he was also completely blindsided by this trade. Luka loved Dallas, and he probably shouldn't have, because they consistently failed to put a good roster around him in his early career. Now, obviously, he has Kyrie, he has Clay. He's got a really good young center in Lively. They have some pieces there. They have P.J. Washington. And they just made the finals. It's like, finally, like, the pieces are coming together. Now he's gone. But he never made a fuss about the lack of talent around him. He never made a public scene. I guarantee if they didn't trade him, he would have retired. He would have retired a Dallas Maverick. Easily. He said as much in his going away thing. He was so involved with the community. He was involved with everything. He loved the team. He loved the fan base. He was carrying on the legacy of Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk passed the torch to Luka. Luka was the one who was, it was looking like, as much as everyone loves Dirk for good reason, if Luka continued on this trajectory, he was gonna be the franchise GOAT. And then it's just this, and I don't want to hear anything about needing defense. I don't want to hear anything about winning now. I don't want to hear, oh, we had concerns about his health. The dude plays basketball nonstop. He plays every Eurobasket tournament. He plays every FIBA tournament. The dude is, like, okay, he's a little soft around the midsection, but so is Nikola Jokic, and it's not bothering him any. And it's just, the dude doesn't stop playing basketball. His conditioning is there. Eastern Europeans, they're not bothered by body fat the way the rest of us are. I don't know how they manage. They thrive off of it. This is just so bad. By the time Luka retires, he's going to be a multi-time MVP. At least a one-time champion, not a multi-time champion. Going to be a Hall of Fame player, and it's just, you gave that away for nothing. What is Kyrie Irving thinking, right? What is Klay Thompson thinking right now? Like, they gave Luka a shooter in Klay that he always needed. They gave him a release valve ball handler in Kyrie that he always needed. They made the finals. Like, Dude, if I was Klay Thompson, I would be demanding a trade right now. I'd be so mad. There are some other trades. De'Aaron Fox is gone as well. He's in San Antonio. I can't even begin to care. This is awful. Awful. The Adelsons should have never been allowed to buy this team. Mark Cuban, I don't know how he's sleeping at night right now. Like, what did Mark Cuban even sell his stake in the NBA for? When he sold, I thought he was going to run for president, but that clearly didn't happen. I definitely don't think it's happening in 2028, so it's like, what is Mark Cuban even doing? Just going on Shark Tank and collecting checks? Like, I don't know, man. If you're a Lakers fan, like, bro, you guys got the heist of the century. Like, this is the biggest fleecing in NBA history. And you have LeBron, who's been the face of the league for the last 20 years. And now you are going to Luka, who's going to be the face of the league for the next at least 10 years, if not 20 years. And, not 20, you won't play to 45, but you could play to 40. I don't know, man. This is ludicrous. Anyways, yeah, the NBA is just a soap opera for men, bro, I swear. Again, my respect for the Boston Celtics and the way they conduct business has skyrocketed. Like, this is such a slap in the face to fans. It's a slap in the face to Luka. It's a slap in the face to the city of Dallas. Like, the economic, think of, like, Luka Doncic, purely, not even from a sports perspective. But if you're in the city of Dallas, if you own a hotel, if you own a restaurant, if you sell, like, I feel like Luka Doncic has a noticeable effect on the GDP of Dallas. Like, oh, I don't know, man. Anyways, leave your comments down below, man. Yeah. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single week. Until next time, guys.